down.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jack Pro here, and today I have some more Crysis 2. Haven't brought that in a while, so I figured I'd bring one. I'm bringing up a topic that I haven't seen on YouTube yet. If it is out on YouTube, let me know and I'll certainly check it out. But that is how damage is calculated in Crysis 2. It's a lot different than Call of Duty and may confuse people, may actually deter people because it can make the game feel so inconsistent. So we'll jump right into it and state the obvious. Each player in Crysis 2 has 120 health. That's really important. In Call of Duty you have 100, Crysis you have 120, and you also have 100 kind of points on the energy meter. That's not so much important in this game. Now, I mentioned before in previous videos that it's very important to land headshots in Crysis, and that's proof by the numbers. If you look, headshots are a 2.2 multiplier, so it's going to cut down your bullets in half, amount of bullets it's going to take to kill somebody. For example, the Scar does 30 damage up close and 25 at range, so that's going to take 4 shots to get that 120 magic number that you need, or 2 shots if you hit them in the head, which makes a big difference between 4 or 2 shots. You kill them in half the time. Duh. So back into the multipliers. The main body does a 1 multiplier. That consists of the body and the upper arms area. Below the elbows is a 0.8 multiplier, so it may be confusing. Sometimes you may be hitting a guy in the arms when you think you're hitting them in the chest, so it may take an extra bullet at range to kill somebody. The upper legs are 0.7, that includes the thighs, kind of groin area, and I actually noticed there's a medal or a dog tag in Crysis that you get if you shoot somebody in the groin a lot of times. I got the medal the other day and I just thought it was hilarious. Anyway, lower legs, kind of below the knees, are 0.5, so bullets do half the damage below the knees, and the feet do 0.25, so it's going to take 4 times the amount of bullets if you want to shoot somebody in the feet. So not a wise idea to shoot someone in the feet. Go for the head, aim high, guys. That's my pro tip for Crysis 2. Aim high. We'll just look at the stats of each gun. For example, the Scar, like I mentioned earlier, does 30 damage up close and 25 at a distance. Now, when you switch to single shot on all guns, it increases the damage. So just for the Scar, I'll use that as a main example because it's probably the most popular gun. It does 40 damage up close and 35 at range. So it does 10 extra points of damage, which would kill in 1 less shot if you're just hitting body shots. When I say 1, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots, I'm going to talk about the 1 multiplier. Cut it in half if you plan on going for headshots. It's just easier for the sake of the video to go with the 1 multiplier. Now, everybody's wondering about the biggest variable when it comes to damage, and that is the armor module. Everyone says, oh man, he killed me, I was in armor. Odds are you probably weren't, and here's why. It takes 0.4 seconds for the armor to become active. So if you already take a shot and land and hit the bumper to bring up your armor module, your armor lock, your maximum armor, whatever you want to call it, it's going to take 0.4 seconds to activate it. Now, the feline, for example, taking into effect what I like to call the kill time. Basically, it's the rate of fire divided by minutes and multiply it by the damage it will do. It could kill in 0.25 seconds without any headshots, just body shots, remember. So landing just body shots, somebody can kill you with a feline in 0.25 seconds. I believe it's 0.32 for a Scar, something like that for assault rifles. The feline is the fastest killing weapon in the game. So if you're up close, the feline is the best gun. Unless, of course, you're going to shotguns, but they're very inconsistent in this game, so I wouldn't really recommend them. So that's kind of the biggest kind of excuse that I get with people is, I was in armor and he killed me. You probably weren't, because it takes almost half a second to bring up the armor, and someone can kill you in a lot shorter time than that. Not really a lot shorter time, but in the span of video games where it's fractions of seconds, then yeah, you're dead. The other thing with the armor people want to know is how much damage does it actually prevent? And the answer to that is 0.65. Well, it does 0.35 damage, I guess. The weapons still do 0.65 of their damage. So what that translates to is the head, rather than a 2.2 multiplier, now becomes a 1.43 multiplier. so it's going to take a couple extra shots to get the kills. This is true for every weapon except the hammer, which is like the Desert Eagle handgun, the Majestic, which is similar to like a revolver type handgun, and the Grendel, which is the 3-burst weapon like an M16 or a G11. Now, why are they like that? Well, for the Grendel, my theory is that even in armor mode at the .143 multiplier at 80% damage, the Grendel can still kill in a headshot with 1 burst. It could take up to 3 body shot bursts to kill somebody when they're in armor mode, but if you land 1 headshot, all 3 bullets with the Grendel, that guy's going down even in armor mode. So I see a lot of people and they're really confused. They say the Grendel is so inconsistent. And it is inconsistent unless you are firing off headshots like crazy. Then it is the most effective weapon in the game, in my opinion. It's probably the only gun with actually significant recoil, but it does a lot of damage. I believe it does 35 damage, similar to the Scar, per bullet, but it shoots 3 bullets at a time. So even, I believe it's enough to take 2 bursts to the body, and just 1 burst to the head. Which is a great gun. So if you can land headshots consistently, maybe switch over to the Grendel, give it a try, and you might like it. As for silencers in this game, they do kind of a minimal effect. I recommend using a silencer because then you don't show up on the radar, and I find as this game progresses and more people start playing it, or more people start playing it longer, they pay attention to the mini-map a lot more, so I think it's beneficial to use a silencer. It doesn't decrease your mobility a whole lot, and the only damage implications it has is it may require 1 extra bullet at range to kill somebody, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a whole heck of a lot. So throw a silencer on your gun, guys. The other thing is invisibility or stealth mode. When you guys go into stealth mode, it's not confirmed, but damage basically doubles or your health goes in half. So if you're wondering when you're in stealth mode why it's so easy to kill you, it's because damage is halved or the multipliers are doubled. One or the other. Just know that if you're in stealth mode, you're going to get killed. The final variable, guys, is the weapons that actually aren't affected by armor at all. And that's the K-Volt and I believe the Gauss sniper rifle. Actually, both sniper rifles aren't affected by armor. They're still a 1-shot kill to the body and above. The Gauss sniper rifle actually isn't. It's a 2-shot kill to the body, 1 shot to the head, but I believe that's because it only does 100 damage. Yeah, it does 100 damage. The player has 120, so a body shot isn't going to kill anyone, but a headshot will, whether they're in armor or not, because the Gauss rifle ignores the armor module. The other weapon, the K-Volt submachine gun, that ignores the armor module as well, but it does a lot less damage. I think the K-Volt is actually like a 17-15 gun, 17 damage up close and 15 at range, and it actually has a very slow rate of fire. But the one intangible benefit to the K-Volt is that it will blind your enemy, kind of brings up electron sparks and stuff like that. So the K-Volt isn't a bad weapon when everything is considered. Anyway, guys, the video is wrapping up, and that's about all I have for you. Hopefully I kind of enriched your lives a little more now that you know a little more about the damage and how damage works in Crysis 2. It's really confusing at times, but it really makes sense. This has been Jax Pro, and I am out.